Hey cigar lovers, this is Daniel with Smoking Spirits, and today I am not going to review a cigar, but we're going to talk about some of the finer points of cigar lighting. This is obviously going to be for somebody who's a little bit newer at the sport. Anyway, I have a Rocky Patel Decade here, a big one. I don't even know what it's called. We'll call it a big one. I just figured that'd be good for the ring gauge so you can see what's going on with the light. Anyway, there are all kinds of different techniques that people use. There's all kinds of different preferences, and it's completely subjective. And so, some guys like it some way, some guys like it the other. I'm gonna just show you the way that I do it, and I found to work very well. And you guys can take it or leave it. A couple things about the cigar, which pertains to lighting and the heat of the cigar and whatnot. Cigars are designed to burn, or maybe they weren't designed that way, it just kind of fluke happened, at a certain temperature, which is much lower than, say, the temperature of like a butane lighter like this guy, like a torch lighter. So, think of the burning of a cigar the same way you would think of cooking bread or cooking anything really. When you cook something, the flavors come out and it richens the flavors when you cook it at a higher temperature. If it's just kind of boiled or cooked at a low temperature, it's not quite as much flavor comes out, and that's because the sugars in it get caramelized, and it just turns into a richer flavor. I often think of asparagus. I really like asparagus. When you boil asparagus, it's kind of a mushy, bland flavor. When you pan fry it, you sear it, or you cook it on a hot barbecue, the flavors come out, and it's very rich, and it's a much tastier experience. And then if you go too far and you burn it, obviously it has a burned flavor, and it's not good. Same kind of thing with a cigar. You want your cigar to stay cooking at that optimal temperature, and that's kind of a feel thing per stick, to get the good flavors. So if it's cooking at the right temperature, you're going to be getting good, rich, smooth flavors. If it's cooking too hot, like you're just toasting it all the time with your lighter, or you're smoking it way too fast, it's going to get harsh. If it's too cool, it's going to taste kind of funky and not really good. It's just not going to be right. So larger ring gauges like this are going to be a little bit harder to keep in that ideal. You're going to want to keep a little ash on the end for insulation. Don't go tapping your ash off all the time. And you're going to want to keep puffing on it a little bit more regularly than puffing on a smaller ring gauge cigar, because they cool down a lot quicker. Anyway, as a smaller ring gauge cigar, you don't want to smoke it too fast because it can heat up, and also smaller ring gauges are going to be a little bit more of a robust flavor naturally because they burn a little bit hotter. So I'm going to demonstrate for you the lighting technique that I use. What I do here, maybe I can get, hold on, super professional here, looking for the pen. You see right here, what I like to do is right on the heel of the cigar, is kind of point the heat of the flame. I'm not going to actually touch the blue of the butane on there, because I don't want to torch it. I want to heat it up, but I don't want to actually get the flame on there and burn it. So what I do is I shoot kind of in this direction here, so the heat hits the middle of the heel and kind of wraps up and over the edge. And then as I turn, I let the heat wrap up and over the edge. And what I'm looking for is a nice dark ring around the edge, because if you get that whole edge started consistently, your burn's going to be a lot more consistent, and you're not going to have such a, if the cigar is prone to have a wobbly burn, it's going to have a wobbly burn. But if it's a good cigar, you're going to have a great burn and no problem. So first you want to toast it a little bit. You want to just kind of want to heat it up. You can see I'm not actually touching the flame to it. You want to kind of start the process, get it warmed up. This is called toasting the cigar. You can see I'm using a lighter here that has three flames. Sometimes there's one big one, sometimes there's one little one, sometimes there's a regular Bic. Everything's pretty much okay. You just don't want to introduce any weird chemicals. Like, you don't want to use a Zippo lighter You don't want to use, if you use matches, make sure that it burns past the sulfur head. Otherwise, you can introduce weird flavors into the tobacco, and then no bueno. So, you keep toasting here. You can see that it gets a little. You can see that getting a little red there. It's kind of tricky to do at this angle. But keep toasting, and you see how that flame is kind of licking around the edge there, and starting the edge up, and I'm getting a nice blackened edge, and you can see the tobacco kind of rolling back on the edge, so it creates a nice burn all the way around. Anyway, you can see the whole thing now, just in a little bit of time, is glowing nicely. I can see the whole thing when I blow on it. The whole thing is glowing. So now you can see there, when I puff on it, you can see a nice glowing ring all the way around the edge. It's working its way into the middle. If you want to get a little bit more solid light, you can puff on it and bring a little bit in as well. I usually try to run the heat right past it and let it kind of come in there. So like something like this. But I never really like to directly hit it with the flame. Even when I'm puffing on it, I don't like to directly hit it. I like to kind of shoot the heat right up past it and suck it in, so it never torches. It never really overburns the tobacco. So anyway, that's pretty much how I go about lighting my cigars, and a little bit about how the burn and whatnot works. And that's pretty much it. So sitting here at Excalibur, as you can tell, and smoking a cigar and having a great day here in San Diego, even though it's been like freaking 90 degrees lately. So hope you guys are doing good where you are. We're doing great here. We will see you guys next time we review a cigar or talk about something awesome like lighting a cigar. See you guys later.